Now time for an album review of Mariachi El Bronx. Mariachi El Bronx is the alter ego of the band The Bronx, who are a punk rock band, and a very, very good punk rock band, who, ashamedly, I've only got into in the past year or so, hearing their third album, and they are like really awesome hard rock band, like take most of their influence from punk and rock and roll, I'd say, and they're definitely worth a listen. If you like kind of Black Flag and Queens of the Stone Age, but like it's kind of like the crossover of that, I think. It's just good stuff, but I'm not here to talk about that project as such. I'm here to talk about Mariachi El Bronx, which is the fourth album from the same band, The Bronx, but they've ditched the kind of punk rock sound to do a mariachi kind of Mexican flamenco Spanish style album. And although I don't really know much about this kind of music, I have to say I love this. I don't really listen to anything like this, or really own anything like this. The closest that I kind of listen to, I kind of Calexico with the horns and all that, and even some Beirut tracks maybe have that kind of flavour. But and also the band Love from the 60s, Arthur Lee's Love, they could have that flavour, but this is a total mariachi style record, and it's just great. It's sung in English, but they're using a lot of traditional Spanish instruments. For instance, like the huge bass guitars that like these mariachi bands have, which are like fucking huge, and they're all like boom, boom, boom. And that plays a huge factor on this album, actually. The bass and the drum sound on this is really great. There's a lot of real rhythmic feels to it, and lots of nice little textures of ukulele, and even like just acoustic guitars. There's nothing really electric on here. It's pretty much all organic, and I think one of the main points of this album that kind of really embraces people that aren't really into this kind of music is the lyrics and the vocals themselves. Matt, the singer from the Bronx, he doesn't go into screaming mode. It's totally crooned and sung, and the lyrics really say a lot. It's great. This first track, Cellmates. There's a lot of like kind of overlined sadness and remote romanticism in what he's singing about. For instance, this track Cellmates, I'm pretty sure it's from the perspective of someone in prison looking to their loved one on the outside, telling them to wait for them or whatever. But yeah, there's lots of this kind of sadness in it, and it's funny because the music brings the contrast to something happy, with like plucking and pizzicato, and the violins and the trumpets or whatever. And it goes into litigation, which has a very uplifting feel to it. It's cool stuff. I woke up in your warehouse this morning. Some great lyrics on here, I think. Some of it, like the sounds overall of some of the songs, there's some of the joyful kind of like Margarita and the Sunshine feel, but of course with his like sad crooning lyrics like there. And there's also like songs that give you a feel of suspense and that could go off to somewhere dangerous, like My Brother the Gun, which is the penultimate track. And I love, this is probably my favourite track off of here. There's a picture of them. Is that like the way it started off, and that whole C going into A minor bit for the bridge is very effective and just adds a fact of suspense, and it just keeps going on. Into the desert night ride, my brother by my side. I mean, it kind of does sound like it could be from like an Antonio Banderas film. Look at this. This is pretty cool. In the inlay, they have like a kind of luchador mask. Luchador meaning Mexican wrestler, for those who don't follow wrestling. And it kind of invites you to cut that out. I'm not going to cut that out myself, but if I ever do find myself getting another copy of this, I probably will. And be Mr. Mariachi El Bronx. It's good stuff. It's probably the most emotional sounding song on here is the song Holy. It's a nice deep beat bass feel, and there's a nice kind of lead guitar here. Conjure up visions of someone being judged for like some kind of crime and reflecting to God, and strange. Now they will see how so judgment can be compared to a life on the run. Holy, face of God. Song. One of my favourites is I can't pronounce it. Quinceanera. I just love the lyrics and the chorus. Every night is the same. Compare. So I think this is a great album. You don't necessarily have to be into this kind of flamenco mariachi style sounds to get into this. I think Matt Cochran's songwriting is really top notch, and I'm hoping this will like broaden people's horizons to the Bronx. Because as a punk band, they're awesome, and I'm guessing the next step may be to like mix this kind of style of music they're doing now with their punk rock flavour. I mean, I'd like to see something like that done, whether it would work or not. I mean, when I actually came across this band by seeing them at the All Tomorrow's Parties Festival. I mean, as in like this incarnation of the Bronx. I knew the Bronx before then, but I thought it was just like them doing mariachi style versions of Bronx songs, but I was heavily surprised and pleased by them having new material like this. And I think it's a great direction for them to go in. It's a like change in direction. It's totally worked, and it feels honest and warm and has lots of nice texture. And this album may not be for everyone, but I demand like, well, I don't demand, but I think like you should give it a go anyway. If you've heard of the Bronx or like the Bronx, give it a go. Give it a few listens, and it's great songwriting, in my opinion. As far as arrangements and lyrics go, I'm kind of running out of time. Let me know what you think of this incarnation of the Bronx. or if you've heard this album, and leave a comment. Cheers!